This week's episode of Helluva was mostly aimed at fun and character moments, but it opened with some really interesting lore about the show, in the form of a meteor shower that Stolas refers to as Azathoth's tears. Who is this Eldritch god, and what do they have to do with the angels and demons of Helluva? My name is Deepcut, welcome back to Cartoon Universe. Please hit that subscribe button so you don't miss more breakdowns like this one, as well as the upcoming 8-part series we're doing on the rulers of Hell and how they conquered their rings. According to our statistics, only a fraction of viewers are actually subscribed, but we know most of our viewers are recurring as well, so you might as well just hit that subscribe button so you don't miss those. Azathoth's tears are described by Stolas as being a sign from all the living things that never came to exist, which has such interesting implications for the nature of reality within the show. Azathoth is the name of a god thought up by H.P. Lovecraft, a popular writer with works from the early 1900s. Azathoth is just one of many known and unnamed beings in the many worlds of Lovecraft, which were not always consistent in themselves and which were expanded upon by many writers, with it being seen as a sort of open multiverse to play with. The general idea of the Lovecraft mythos and themes is that the gods of this realm, known as the Old Ones, are so cosmically large that we don't even exist to them. To try to understand the enormity of what these beings are would cause most characters to go absolutely insane. In Lovecraft's works, Azathoth is described as the creator of the universe, with all of existence as we know it just being a dream that he is having, and when he inevitably wakes up, all of us will cease to exist. In the Helluverse, hell and heaven are inspired largely by modern Christian conceptions of the two, but are still made up quite a bit of other inspirations from throughout time and history, and even as far back as the Hazbin Hotel pilot, there were Lovecraft or Eldritch-based characters introduced. This includes the character Helsa von Eldridge, who we can see posing with her and Charlie's family in various photos throughout the hotel. This family is made up of 4 members, a mother, a father, a son, and a daughter. It would seem the wiki references to the parents are gone, though I remember the father's name as once being Harold. Their son, Sephiathan, was once the boyfriend of Charlie, though it appeared their relationship wasn't very good, and they mostly dated because Sephiathan and Charlie's families were close. This family is the Von Eldridge Family, a reference to Lovecraft. In a live stream, VivziePop confirmed that the Von Eldridge family were natural-born demons and what she called new money, with the Morningstar family being the more traditional royalty. Being themed after Lovecraft, it makes sense that they wouldn't rise in Hell's hierarchy until sometime after Lovecraft's birth, and perhaps without him, they never would have existed at all. Stolas describes these meteors, these Azathoth's tears, as being from an eldritch corner of the cosmos, and that they are the tears of everything living that couldn't exist, as discussed before. The way these non-existent beings still have an effect on the universe gives the sense that this is the living stage that the consciousness of nothingness gets projected onto. There are so many angels and demons and mythological beings from throughout history, but it is a fraction compared to all the beings that could have existed under the right circumstances. Lucifer and the traditional royalty of Hell have roots deep not just in our Christian culture, but in the many cultures that surrounded it, got absorbed into it, and even predated it, with Lucifer himself just being the Latin name of a Roman god representing Venus. This story is important to our mythology because the phenomena of Venus as the morning star was something witnessed around the world. Lucifer, whatever his original form may have been, was likely shaped and reshaped as his role in history changed, and was constantly attributed to the way that Venus rose before the sun every morning. It is the fear and worship from humans that may have been why Lucifer was able to rise to such a high place of power. With that in mind, these Azathoth tears are a call from the void beyond existence, from the metaphysical realm that holds beings that wish to exist in some form, but never found a way to quite reach over into our reality. The only ones who can even begin to fathom the names of such deities would be people like H.P. Lovecraft, whose work focused entirely on how insane a man goes trying to understand the concepts of non-existence, and even just the greater things surrounding existence that humans just aren't evolved enough to know. Ironically, I think it is the release of his books as well as subsequent adaptations that may have led to the Von Eldritch family's rise in power, and even possibly what willed them into existence. While much of life in Hell is said to have evolved the same way it did on Earth, there seems to be a special class of demons above the others, different species of a rare variety, but not fallen angels like Lucifer and perhaps some of the other nobles are. This is the category of the Von Eldridge family, who rose to power rather late. Now, this may not have been to do with Lovecraft at all, instead be simply because of Alistair. Alistair came into Hell during the era of Lovecraft on Earth. According to Vaggie, he knocked down the overlords that had been in place for as long as Hell could remember. This made room for other overlords to rise up among the sinners, such as Vox, Velvet, and Valentino, the 3 Vs, who took over the Pride Ring by pioneering technology-driven entertainment industries. Sinners are not the only overlords in the Pride Ring, and even Rosie is said to be an overlord who is also a natural-born citizen of Hell. Around the time that Alistair toppled this hierarchy, the Von Eldridge family may have slipped in just like the Sinners did and rose to the top of the Overlord pyramid. Instead of Lovecraft giving them their powers, spreading their ideas in his books, they may have actually just rose up in Hell and used that power to start influencing Earth the way other elites seem to. They may have driven Lovecraft insane, getting him to write more and more, making the fear of them grow in addition to the power they naturally gathered in Hell. As Eldritch demons, they may have been the early echoes of the many things that would never get a chance to live. Throughout Hell's history, they would have always been there in the background, waiting for an opportunity to rise up, like Alistair knocking over the overlords. And with them, possibly bringing forth the absolute end of the universe. If the Von Eldridge family is at all connected to these Eldritch Azathoth tiers, the ultimate goal may be to end all of existence as soon as possible, wipe the slate clean, and perhaps start over entirely so that the Eldritch gods and abominations can have a chance to rule over an existence. We've got plenty more to break down, but real quick, I just want to introduce you all to some new members of the Cartoon Universe family. This is Deep Dive. He's my 6-legged axolotl. Some of you may remember him from the Cartoon Universe movie trailer we posted to celebrate 500,000 subscribers a while back. Link in the description and pinned comment down below if you want to watch it, but from now on, he'll always just be sleeping right here in the background. Additionally, you'll find the link to the Twitter account of our friend Caden, who designed Deep Dive, as well as a link to the Twitter account of Haro, the newest member of our Cartoon Universe team. For over a month now, Haro has been editing almost all of the videos we put out. He's been an absolute game changer of a friend and now colleague. Follow them on Twitter, and while you're down there in those comments, be sure to tell them how cool they are. Now, while the Von Eldridge family was intended to have a role in the first few seasons of Hazbin Hotel, VivziePop said she'd love to explore their family and their history even more deeply if Hazbin Hotel gets renewed beyond the point of her originally intended story. With the development of Helluva, the Eldritch storyline may be slowly weaved in this way instead. However, these Azathoth's tiers could be pretty insignificant in the long run as well, and just be meant to give us an idea of the weirdness that exists in this universe. Despite how close the Morningstar and Von Eldridge family are, Charlie never seemed to really like Sephiathan, as mentioned earlier, and also seems to have a hatred for his sister, Helsa. Sephiathan's name seems to be a reference to Leviathan. At the time of Hazbin Hotel's pilot, I don't think the idea of the 7 Princes of Hell had been developed, and though he may have been meant to be related to Leviathan, I think the implications are a bit different. Azathoth is said to represent the sort of primordial chaos that existed early on, a time of monsters and even just cosmic destruction that humans could not survive. In the Holy Bible, Leviathan represents this same thing, being a reference to other myths in the area where gods had to kill the sea beasts and the chaos he represented before creating humans. They may have some allegiance to Leviathan in the Envy Ring in the show, but with Sephiathan just being the name of a son and not a family name, I think it's more just a deep reference to their history in our world's mythology. With how redesigned the main cast is for the upcoming return of the series, it's hard to say exactly how the Von Eldridge family will change when the show comes out. So much of what we know about them comes from the wiki, which we know to not be entirely accurate, even for things that are quoted from live streams, as a lot has probably changed in the story in addition to the visual and cast changes that we've seen so far. But I'm excited to see if we get any more development on this Eldritch stuff, or if it will just be another little thread in the tapestry of the lore's grand implications. But what do you guys think? I don't know much about the Cthulhu mythos, so if I missed anything, put it in a comment down below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. We have a lot coming out in addition to the 8-part series about how the elites of Hell rule the various citizens of the different rings. And if you just can't wait for that, you can use the join button to get access to our early access membership section, where we have all 8 of these videos waiting for you, as well as another video about the migration and evolution of Hell species. See you guys next time.